Oh, I feel like I need to put my feet up.
It's been a long day.
It has been a really long day. Day 2.
Day 2. We're not broken, but
We're pretty much
busy.
broken.
We're busy. We're not broken, but we're busy. We've seen no less than 5 brands today.
It has been, literally non-stop.
Literally non-stop. We started with the good folks at Baume Mercier.
Yeah.
Followed by shooting some Tag Heuer, followed by Cartier,
Lots of Cartier,
Constantin,
Vacheron,
Hublot, and now we've got a little bit to do still. But top 3 watches of the day. We thought we'd just wrap it up nice and quick. What's your first?
I honestly, price point wise, Baume is a brand that is compelling, I think.
Yeah.
We don't talk about it a lot. I don't
Yep.
think they've done enough to establish their brand in our market.
Totally.
But the product is good, and I really like that Baume Riviera DLC on the rubber. And it has this translucent dial, and you can see
It's like smoked sapphire.
and you can see the date wheel sort of
all the
ticking
way
along
through,
around it.
exposed at 3 o'clock.
Really cool. They had some nice watches there today, and I was pretty impressed with that.
Yeah.
What about you?
My first, we saw Cartier today. You may or may not know, I am possibly Australia's biggest Cartier fan. I was pretty much, we were talking about yesterday, I was a 7-year-old at Christmas. I think I was a 4-year-old at Christmas in Cartier.
Yeah.
Some absolutely crazy watches that Cartier's released today, but the favourite of mine, probably the most clean, probably the most simple, which to me speaks most to the kind of Cartier spirit or identity, and that was just the yellow gold tank with a jet black dial.
Was it not a lacquer, but
I think it was lacquer.
It was a lacquer, yeah.
So just super shiny, beautiful black dial, quite hard to photograph actually.
It was.
Manual 1 movement, a little bit exy. I think it was pushing up there to almost 20k. I think it was 17 or 18.
I think it was 19. Was
19.
it? Yeah, look, don't quote us on that. We'll
work that out. But I thought, even if it was a little bit pricey, still an absolutely beautiful watch from Cartier. And if you haven't seen the rest of their collection, make sure you check it out. They smashed it this year.
We took a bunch of photos. It's funny, when we got sent the press pack, I was sort of like, I don't really know about Cartier this year.
Yeah.
My second favourite watch of the day, and possibly my favourite of the whole show far, which has come right out of left field, was also a Cartier.
Yep.
And I too was astonished at Cartier. The innovation, what they're offering at the top end and the bottom end.
Incredible.
It's outrageous.
Yeah.
The lacquer, beige lacquer Santos Dumont, no shit, is one of the best watches I've ever seen.
Yeah. So,
limited to 250 pieces, which fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And it is 21k, which is pretty competitive.
it's pretty competitive. It's the
Gold, so it's solid gold as well.
It's solid yellow gold.
And it's got more.
I believe it's the medium size,
Yeah.
so it's not too big. I thought their last limited edition Santos's were a little bit on the chunky side. But effectively what they've done to the case is they've almost hollowed out some of the case sides and filled them with lacquer that's then been polished to effectively a mirror polish.
Yeah.
It was
stunning.
absolutely incredible. And a matching dial.
So they ran that with a black, a beige, and a burgundy.
Yeah.
All limited. Black was limited to 150. I think burgundy to.
Burgundy was 150. Black, they weren't sure. Black was actually
Pretty
for
hot.
a Cartier limited edition. I think it was like $8,000. That's about the most affordable limited edition.
Because that was
Cartier I've
steel.
heard of. That was steel, exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas the Burgundy was platinum. Beige was yellow gold.
Beige was yellow.
Yellow.
Was it rose or yellow?
It was yellow.
Yellow,
Yeah.
great. That's why I liked it so much.
That's why I liked it so much. Just a warm watch. The beige, sort of the creamy ivory tone of it, the yellow gold.
Stunning.
Just popped off your wrist. It was absolutely lovely. My second favourite watch, I'm going to go to Vacheron Constantin.
Yeah.
That was, well, I mean, James is going to talk about it.
Well, again, I mean, we saw Vacheron stuff. It's absolutely incredible. The talk of the town is the Vacheron 222,
Yep.
which is a reissue of a 1977
Yep.
watch that was made in very limited numbers, and really in the last, it's not until sort of like 5 years ago collectors really going mad for this watch.
Yep.
They've reissued it.
It was almost for a little while the sort of the little brother of the Royal Oak and the Nautilus. It was designed in the same era originally, and it was, as far as I understand, quite popular during the 70s and 80s, but more contemporarily, obviously the Royal Oak and the Nautilus are literally the hottest watches on the planet. This watch hadn't quite got the same attention thus far, but just in the last couple of years, prices have picked up. Vacheron's noticed, they're keeping an eye on the market, they're paying attention, and they've reissued it in one of the more faithful reissues
ever. I reckon literally ever.
Yeah.
37 mil, yellow gold,
Yeah.
weighs an absolute ton,
Massive.
wears like a dream.
Big boy watch.
And you know what? This is the difference between like overseas at 41.
Yeah.
I love overseas.
Yeah.
I feel like it is a little bit long and sits a bit flat. It doesn't drape as gracefully over the wrist.
Totally.
That 222 didn't. You know, it avoids all of that.
Yeah.
But we also saw another platinum, unbelievable thing,
which was a salmon dial perpetual calendar chronograph. It's a grand complication from Vacheron, which probably their only competitor is Patek, if we're honest. At that sort of level, maybe Langer a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, just an absolutely exquisite watch. The dial was really, really beautiful. Hands, I don't know, just literally any angle you looked at it, under a loop, 3 times magnify. It was just to die for. It was sublime. And it weighed an absolute ton.
Yeah, the platinum was crazy.
It was only 42 mil, but it was hefty.
Yeah.
The bracelet, even the buckle on the strap was pretty sizable. And yeah, the movement obviously finished to the absolute nines, as you'd expect from Vacheron. Fantastic watch.
Yeah, look, we saw some great stuff. Did we? New overseas thin, overseas tourbillon skeleton.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Some really cool watches. And we also saw Tag today.
That's it. And just my third and final fave.
Yeah, sorry, my third was the 222. I mean, we saw some stuff we absolutely loved at Tag, but we can't talk about it because it's all under embargo.
It is, unfortunately. Probably would have been one of my favorites if we could talk about it.
Correct.
But in lieu of that, last night, Tag Heuer launched a $500,000 Australian dollar Carrera chronograph.
Plasma.
Which it's called the Plasma, and it's just absolutely bonkers. I wasn't quite sure why it commanded such a significant price point initially. You see it up close. They've effectively created the case out of lab-grown diamonds. The dial is a single piece of frosted lab-grown diamond. The crown of the watch is 2.5 carats solid diamond with the Carrera logo
Inside
engraved into it. Absolutely ridiculous level of just material innovation.
Yeah.
Just even the kind of level of thinking you'd have to create that watch. It's almost unimaginable.
I liked your question. You said, like, do you conceptualize this and then go back and go, how do we bring this to life once we've conceptualized it? Yeah, really cool. They honestly, this year for Tag is going to be really dope. We can't talk about it, but
we will later in the year, and stay tuned for that.
And yeah, look, we did a couple of other things today. We did manage
favorite things. What was yours?
Well, we did manage to fit some lunch in today, and it's a really funny. You can sort of see behind us, and it's all sort of people are walking around. But I'll cut in. I'll show you a sort of. Yeah, we had a bit of a chat yesterday about lunch that didn't get into the video yesterday, but I'll cut that in because we actually got to sit down today and avoid the mad rush and sat down and had some food at about 3 o'clock.
Good. James, what are we
Nick,
looking at?
It's your first time here.
Yeah.
So it's quite similar to SIHH. I was here in 2019. For everybody at home who hasn't been, these tables at by 11 o'clock they're full and people are drinking wine. There are these stations in the center of the room and they serve food, coffee, alcohol all day for 5 days. It's all free. We just saw in the press lounge, and I haven't started my day off with a mind expander yet, but serving free flow PJ Perrier for those who
not bad
aren't familiar, and it just goes
nearly 11 o'clock.
Correct.
That's not bad.
And look, people are drinking already. We've already walked past people, but by lunchtime, all these tables are full.
Yeah.
The energy is insane. People chatting. People just get so enthusiastic, meeting each other. You'll spot so many people, see you Christian Hagens of the world and whatever.
Yeah.
And it comes alive. And all day you can cop food, coffee, drinks, Sparkos, CZs, PJs, whatever you want.
Easy.
And then we also IWC.
So the big talk of the town at IWC today, they've been doing a little series of effectively little lectures where they're kind of bringing in people within the IWC sort of ecosystem. Two of the chaps today, unfortunately I can't remember their names off the top of my head.
Matt and Brian.
Matt
is the founder of Airspeeder, which is an Australian company which you wrote about recently, didn't you?
I did write about recently. Effectively, it's an electric. It's like hover car. It's like the.
No, they're like drones, big drones.
It's like a massive drone. It's like Star Wars almost, like the Phantom Menace airspeeder race, right?
That's literally probably where he got his. He said he was the biggest.
Well, was that pod racing maybe?
I don't know. They both said they were big sci-fi fans.
Obviously, got to be big sci-fi fans if you're working in aerospace. But so out in the South Australian desert, apparently the site is off RM Williams Road, which is pretty cool. But they are doing drag races with these enormous drones, and they're effectively setting up a bit of competition. It's going to be the F1 of the skies. They're going to do 2 years of unmanned drone races, and then by 2024, I believe the hope is 2025 potentially. Get people in there, and then Brian was running a sustainable hypersonic jet business, effectively. So I think they were flying at 60,000 feet. He was looking to do New York to London in 3.5 hours, and yeah, just pretty impressive stuff. So IWC sponsors both of these businesses. They were able to come and talk about be it precision engineering, being able to kind of manufacture these things in a sustainable way. And then they also brought on, potentially we can link this up potentially, but IWC sponsored a space flight earlier this year, and they had a gentleman who was working for the same organisation who is going to be heading up another space flight, civilian space flight, first civilian space flight, and just inspiring stuff. He was he was a captain in the US Air Force in their Thunderbird squadron, so that was the premier, their top aerobatics division, effectively. So he's a stunt pilot, pretty insane guy, and had some pretty wild stories. Interviewed by Chris Granger, the CEO of IWC,
who is like literally in his mid-40s and looks like
he's living his best life.
Yeah,
he's absolutely
he's an
unbelievable.
absolute prodigy.
He is a prodigy. And fun fact about Chris, he has 3,000 Hot Wheels cars on permanent display in his garage.
Does he?
He's got a collection of thousands of Hot Wheels cars. And one of his, in fact, strangely, one of his more proud moments at the helm of IWC was the Hot Wheels IWC Mercedes limited edition that they released a couple of years ago, which, considering that you're wielding some of the most impressive might in the Swiss watch industry, it's a niche thing to be proud of, but he just loves his Hot Wheel cars, and I'm passionate about anybody who's passionate about it, so it's fantastic.
And finally, we bumped into a friend of Nick's who runs a brand called Serica.
Absolutely,
Jerome, who was showing us some of his watches and was telling us about some of the stuff he's got upcoming. A French independent, lovely guy.
Lovely guy, small brand. I think they launched maybe 2018, and they've done only maybe 2 or 3 watches since then. Kind of small production runs. Pretty much, you've got to pre-order, wait a few months. I got one. I've got, you can do a little bit of customization here and there. I think I've got my crown on the left-hand side, which is quite cool. And they don't cost a bomb. I think the reference is 4512, maybe $800 or $900. They've got a new dive watch which is unfortunately sold out. But if you did get one, I think it was around 2-3 maybe Aussie.
Yeah.
And they've got 2 absolutely stellar watches which are going to be coming out. One later on this year, and then potentially another one early next year. So if you're a fan of small, affordable, beautifully made watches with a lot of consideration and thought gone into their design.
Yeah, he's a lovely guy, and he had his heart in the right place with the direction of the business as well. It's nice.
Absolutely. Make sure you check him out if you're interested.
Nick, we are going to dinner with Grand Seiko. We got to wrap this up because I got to edit it, and then we got to go to the Four Seasons rooftop. We might take a little bit of B-roll of that. So
ABC delightful.
It might go in tomorrow.
Yeah.
To the blog.
Absolutely.
Right.
Thanks for watching, and as always, shoot us a message on Instagram or wherever. If you want us to look at a specific watch or talk to anybody specific on the ground, let us know. Thanks for watching again.
Thanks, guys.